Hi, this is Arnav, and welcome to the first podcast from my car. Today I'd like to take the question that a lot of my students ask is, what is the best way to learn? I'm a software developer, and I have been teaching people how to build apps and websites for quite a few years now. I'm working at coding blocks. In coding blocks, we run classroom programs where we teach data structures, algorithms, building Android apps, building websites, creating web servers, and so on. And a lot of people ask me this, that what is the best way to learn? Now, the question in itself is a very simple one. The answer is not so simple because, first of all, this question it has a very wide ambit. Most often what people actually mean to ask is that there are a lot of medium from where you can learn. There are online video lectures. There are most technologies like Android, web development, machine learning. You will find a lot of documentation. You will find a lot of books, online books, printed books, and of course there are classroom programs like the one that we run at Coding Blocks. Which one of these is the best? And that is an answer that depends a lot on you. And why do I say that? It's because what I have felt in my in trying to learn things on my own, as well as trying to teach people, I have figured out that for some people reading a text is one of the best ways to learn. For some people, watching videos is the best way to learn, and yet for some people actually going to a classroom program and having a teacher teach you stuff is the best way to learn. And there are no two ways about this, that for different people it will be different. And so, for example, if you are the kind of person for whom text is the best way to learn, you will not be able to satisfy yourself with videos. For example, I myself have learned most of the things in my life as far as software development goes from written texts or online documentation. Videos are something that does not suit me a lot. Mostly I find their pace to be either too slow or too fast, and you cannot skip through videos without missing important points. You cannot run them at a faster speed without not being able to understand what is being said. So it's kind of dicey for me, videos. But text, on the other hand, I find more accessible. Similarly, a lot of people who come to coding blocks, they tell that they have tried videos and they have tried text, and they were not able to understand what was written or being said, and they found out that the classroom teaching format was the best for them, and they were able to learn fast with that. So it's subjective. It depends on you. Now, that's about which medium to learn from. Now, whichever medium you learn from, whether it's documentation or video or classroom programs or pair programming, or a friend helps you learn, whichever way, one thing that's common to all of these, and it's very important to understand, is that software development, coding, programming, this is a very practical subject. This is something that you can't just read, you can't just absorb. You have to look at every new thing you learn and do it yourself. You have to for example, one of the thing that I teach most is Android app development, and in my classroom program as well. After learning every new topic, every day we create a new app. We implement what we learned in that class, in that app, and then an assignment is given to the students to build another app that uses some more advanced things. So the thing is that you cannot learn a single thing without actually implementing it. That's very important, and I have found that a lot of people have come to me and they said that, I was trying to learn this, I was trying to understand this, and I could not. And I asked them that what exactly was the problem with it, and they said, and mostly I figured out that they were trying to absorb a lot in the beginning. They were trying to go through the first 4 or 5 tutorials just reading or just watching the videos without implementing them, and then trying to implement all of those 5-6 things together at one go. That is a problem because this is a very implementation specific domain. Everything that you learn, like you see how to do hello world in a particular language, don't skip that. You feel you understand that, you can do that, it's fine, but just write that code out and get hello world printed on your screen, okay, and then go forward. That's very important that you build things. This is like the beginning of the learning phase when you're just trying out a new technology. Then there is the other phase where you have learned a bit of the basics and you want to build certain things and learn while you build, and that's a very good way to do that. I recommend that to everybody, that once you have covered your basics, basically you take a new technology, you do the 5-minute quick starter thing, you get a hold of what can be done with this, what cannot be done with this, you get an idea of what's happening in this language or on this platform. Beyond that, don't try to go like a grammar book trying to understand everything that happens there. Just start building things, okay, and then whenever you need some new knowledge to build some new thing in that particular platform, go and pick that knowledge up. So learn while you build. It's a very effective way of learning, because that implementation problem is not there. You are implementing something and you're learning so that you can implement, right? Now, in this stage, one of the bigger problems that people come up with is that they keep on telling me, what should I build, and I don't have an idea in my mind, and then it's an app or website, and they keep telling me that, just tell me, what can I build, what should I build, what's the best thing to build so that I can learn. And there's a mental block out there, like it's like a writer's block kind of thing. People are not getting ideas, and the biggest problem is that because when we talk about ideas, when we say that come up with an idea, the first thing that is in our mind is that this should be a unique idea, something that nobody has proposed before, something that's like an idea that's almost startup worthy. You can create a company out of that idea. But it's not like that. I mean, when you're learning something, it's the first time you're trying to implement a technology. Think of simple ideas, like think of creating a calculator, think of creating a currency converter, think of creating an app that shows the weather or something. I mean, maybe 1 million people have done that before you, but that does not matter. You might be the 1,000,001st. Okay, that does not matter, but you have learned while building that, and that's what matters. Whether you are the first person to come up with that idea or not is not important. And even if we look at ideas that are successful, if you look at Google or Facebook, they are not the first search engine or the first social network in the world. So even if you have to actually implement your idea and build a startup out of it, even then the uniqueness or the newness or the freshness of the idea does not matter a lot. That aside, of course, when you're learning, it totally does not matter. Just think of simple ideas. Especially if you already know how one language or one platform works and you're trying to learn something new. For example, you are very good with web development, you can create websites, and then you're moving on to, say, learning how to build iOS apps. So think of things that you've already built using HTML and JavaScript on the web and try to re-implement them on iOS. That way you don't have to spend time thinking out the business logic, thinking out how things will work. You are focusing more on how to make it work on iOS. So you are really learning the iOS part of it instead of how a calculator works part of it, because that you already know. So about ideas, don't just stop working on an idea because it's not new or you don't think it's a good enough idea. just build it, and that's very important. And other than these things, another thing that's important when you are trying to learn something is like the flow, the way you learn it. And what I have figured out, having learned a lot of things, is one of the best flows is, usually most languages, most platforms, most frameworks, they have a 10-minute quick start article. Like, you can go through that, and in 10 minutes you can implement a fairly simple project, a fairly simple app with that. Go through that and you get an idea of what's happening. Then start building some simple projects like a calculator or a movie review app, stuff like that. Okay. Then go back to the full documentation and read about what's happening, like every function that you've used in the quick start article. I mean, most of those functions could be used in some other way. You did not know what really the arguments meant, you were just using them. So go to the documentation and relearn it. That, I believe, is one of the better ways to quickly pick up a platform or a framework, and then drill down deeper and understand the depths of it. Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it about learning new things. I hope this would help you if you are trying to learn a new language or a framework, platform, or anything. This process might even help you learn things that are not related to software development or coding. It might help you in other domains as well. So yeah, so long.